Test, test. All right, hold up. We got to get the mic working. It's not a Tetron stream without audio.
All right. I think we're up and running now. I think we're good now. Let's see. Let's go. All right. All right. All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for bearing with me. The tech troubles continue, but we continue to work through it, continue to grind. And again, at the end of the day, oh, don't email me. But at the end of the day, you could email Tetron Investor Relations if you do have any business inquiries or anything random you want to send me. That's fine. But what I was getting at the end of the day, it's all about pushing forwards. And, just everyone out here. I'm just like all of you. I'm just an individual. I'm just recording out here. That's it. Just going through information. Some different stuff here. But definitely want to try and stream Kiraverse. That'd be kind of dope. I don't know if anybody would be interested in that. Thing is, I just really have to upgrade my setup. I'm trying to look into some things. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about Gmerica and just in general of how I believe GameStop could get to like profitability. Let's go. Appreciate you all. Just to let you all know in the chat. But yeah, Twitter's rolling. Sweet. Okay. Get rid of all this unnecessary stuff. All right, so the latest. GameStop's NFT marketplace. And by the way, the problem with the audio is literally there's like something that connects into the laptop, the USB, and then something that connects into that connects to the USB. That in between part was disconnected, but we're all chilling now. But I think I said this last stream too, but it's just really exciting to see Buck Bunny here and Kiraverse, as well as the game that GameStop launched, just an in-browser game, really simple, nothing mind-blowing at all. But the fact you can have the same character in two completely different games, I think is really exciting. And I don't know if you guys heard about what's going on with Gmerica or, the patent filing. It's having some updates, so I do have to refresh a little. This is GameStop's current patents list. Got to get all these refreshed up. But Gmerica here. Live application under examination. The last official update. Oh, okay. See, we have a couple. So, extension of time was filed. Extension was approved. And then unit action. We'll read what that is. So this is what I've been keeping an eye on. This is the Gmerica patent. Gmerica trademark registration intend to cover the categories of clothing, namely t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and footwear. And I'll just tell you guys right off the bat what my theory is here. Oh, I don't know why this is saving. What I think Gmerica is, I don't know what the heck that is. I'm not trying to save anything. What I think Gmerica is in some way real life, in person, and Web3 coming together. Whereas you buy maybe a T-shirt and it says GameStop, but then when you order it, it comes with a QR code and it's also an NFT that you can get in your GameStop wallet. And then maybe it's a T-shirt for your avatar for any game that's on the NFT marketplace, similar to how Buck is in Kiraverse over here, how he's featured. Imagine you had an avatar that could go game to game, and you could customize your avatar with whatever items, and then take that avatar game to game, however it looked. I think that'd be incredible, and maybe Gmerica is like the hub, or like the digital and physical marketplace, or something like that, because the application does mention this is where people come up with the Bed Bath theories, right? Like, oh, like this is some of the stuff Bed Bath sells. Clothing, namely T-shirts, like is that part of Gmerica? But I don't know. I honestly don't. Not necessarily Bed Bath, more so Bye Bye Baby, because there's also GameStop Kids. People speculate on that being a category, because people spend a lot on their kids, obviously. But clothing, namely T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and footwear. To me, that sounds like an avatar, like the kind of items you would get for your avatar, but then also you could buy them in real life. So let's take a look here, and then I'll check chat. The approval was granted, but there's not much, or it's blank. I mean, I don't know if this is just loading or what the deal is here. Yeah, so, but it looks like, oh, that's what, see, I don't, X empty file. Okay, so there's no other information, just unit action extension, or I guess the unit action, we don't have anything yet. Yeah, because it's extension approval and then unit. Okay, so this is just being filed, so I guess any other information isn't there yet. But yeah, this is originally clothing 25, 28, 35. Clothing, namely t-shirts, sweatshirts, and footwear. Action figures, puzzles, dolls, plush toys, stuffed toys, inflatable toys, board games, card games, dice games, playing cards, card games. Retail and online retail store services, including clothing, collectible items, and memorabilia. So that's what makes me think this is the collab of Web3 and real world items coming together. So this tweet I also found not too long ago. Gmerica from July 12th, 2021. The company filed the patent in August of 2021. We're now here on this live stream at the very tail end of February 2023. So this has been a long time in the making. And, a lot of people think, oh, GameStop's dead. Or still people were telling me the other day, oh, you really still believe in them? Like, you just don't even understand, or you don't even know what's coming. Like, this is just the beginning. They've been talking about, or at least referenced Gmerica since July of 2021. It seems to me like maybe this summer, whatever Gmerica, it's a very general timeline of what it could be. And the fact they've been working on it this long, it's not just going to be something. It's going to be something big, in my opinion. I think it's going to kind of tie everything together. And I feel like the wallet and the NFT marketplace was the underlying groundwork. Fix up the e-commerce operation to make it efficiently functionable. And now you can tie it all together in some way with Gmerica, potentially with real world items also being in the form of a digital collectible of some way. Because Gmerica, what is Canadian lover of GME? What does Gmerica mean? Our favorite place to game. Maybe it's some giant gaming hub. Maybe it's its own variation of Steam, but more so geared to Web3 and also having real world items crossed over in some way. That's kind of my theory on Gmerica. I think it's some way Web3 digital collectibles and the actual physical items come together. But let's check chat. I got to get the iPad soon. Super master, mass muted, restart stream with old settings. Good evening. Okay, damn, we got to catch up. Yes, good. Fresh maker, chilling. Thanks for being here. Ryan Sung, thank you for being here. Feeling beyond zen lately? I feel exactly the same, and that's why I feel like sometimes I've fallen off lately, or I've not been able to keep up. Because also at the end of the day, like I just feel so calm right now. Like I don't really like I know I could not look at anything for like weeks, and I still feel good about my investment. But obviously, like what I'm trying to do with my channel here is talk about GameStop, and I got to keep up with everything and this and that. But sometimes it's nice to disconnect, and I feel like you need to. And when you believe in the company, you could just feel zen about it. Like, okay, I don't have to worry. Like, what's gonna happen a week doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't sell either way. That's just me personally. But um, let's see. What up, my guy? Suit. Thank you for being here. AMC Sulks. That's true. Xbit. Wendy. Good evening. Thank you for being here. No official earnings date. Jackson's, thank you for being here. As of right now, I do not believe there's an official earnings date. I always keep an eye on GameStop Investor Relations. It's always the best source. It's from GameStop themselves. So anything that comes out of here, investor.gamestop.com, it's legit. Newsroom. Usually they say announces release date for the earnings. So if that was November 28th, December 28th, January 28th, February 28th, that's tomorrow. Doesn't mean it's exactly that, but you'd have to imagine probably actually later this week or next week we'll get an official earnings date. But also, GameStop's natural style and just how they've kind of run the company since Ryan Cohen and other executives have taken over is it's always just about action and just, okay, here's it is, here's a date, surprise. Not like, oh, blindside, more so like, here it is, okay. Like, that's kind of, they don't want it just the same way, like, you might think, oh, well, we're in the dark about Gmerica and this and that. Anybody betting against GameStop, whether it's shorting or just hating on it or trying to be a competitor in some way in the gaming industry, they don't want to reveal their play. And shout out to Marantz because he's talked about Teddy as well, something that's going on in terms of the children's books that Ryan Cohen wrote, and that it is a company in itself. And he presented the idea that GameStop, or Ryan Cohen rather, and potentially other individuals are building something, and inevitably maybe Teddy gets acquired by GameStop, and whatever Teddy's built is then implemented right in, and it's not visible because right now it's under the entity of Teddy, whereas maybe Teddy becomes a future entity under GameStop. So shout out to Marantz for that one, but that would be certainly spicy, and maybe that plays into Gmerica in some way. You'd have to think it's at least on the table, right? At least a possibility, because it's still, it's an application, it's pending. This is a great page to keep an eye on. USPTO.report, that's the official government website for patents. You can keep an eye on any updates here. And then this is the trademark assignment cover sheet. So this was like when they filed it, like what to actually get the trademark, or I gotta find exactly where I pulled this. But from what I understand, if this is the same thing, or let's see, assignment TM, or is this the initial application? Because I can't remember exactly. Yes, yes. Okay, so the actual application, because yeah, see, filing date, serial number 089. Yeah, oh, 9. Okay, so this is slightly different. But what I'm trying to see is if this is from, or trademarks under Gmerica for said patent here, which I'm trying to look through and see. And these are all, I suppose, I mean, obviously GameStop here, but when you look at these other names, maybe you could find something. But EB Games, they rebranded to GameStop, some EB International. I think it's just holding companies. Like every business, there's made up of several LLCs. It's for layers. Because when you get sued, for example, right now, if somebody was going to sue me, they'd be suing like Tetron LLC. Like that's my entity, like for my channel. So if I wanted to do something beyond my channel, like maybe like I have Tetron one day and then my YouTube channel is one part of it, but then I'm doing this and this, and then I would have a Tetron LLC, Tetron Invest LLC for my YouTube, Tetron Relations LLC, Tetron Communications LLC, whatever. Point is, you have different layers. So I think these are all entities of GameStop. I mean, obviously GameStop Texas. I mean, come on. So that's kind of what's going on here. But I have to confirm because sometimes I just do research and pull a bunch of tabs, and I'm trying to figure out where exactly I pulled this from. But I'm pretty sure, I was on this website, and it is the same website. But if this is in relation to the patent of Gmerica, something really noticeable here is Buck. Look, Buck is a registered thing. EB Games, GameStop, Palp Rewards Pro, GameStop Empower the Players, power to the players, more power to the players. Is there what's a power to the creators? That'd be exciting to see. But the reason I point out Buck is because it's like, wait a minute. If Buck is being trademarked in some way, and that's the character here, you'd have to wonder if it has some tie to GameStop's marketplace, right? Because standard characters, Gmerica, yes. Anything else interesting here? Identification, action figures, puzzles, dolls, plush toys, stuffed animals, inflatable toys, board games, card games, dice games, playing games, and card games. See, this is what we gotta learn right now. What is the difference between a patent and a trademark? A patent protects new inventions, processes, or scientific creations. A trademark protects brands, logos, and slogans. Interesting. So, if this is a patent pending, and this is the definition, it's either Gmerica is a new invention or process or scientific creation. I don't think it's a scientific creation, and of course, this is just one source, Investopedia. Take it with a grain of salt, right? And this is just generally, but what it is something new, and maybe it is new in the sense it's a Steam, but Web3 version, and obviously GameStop branded. And then maybe beyond that, it's not just like Steam, it's a virtual place of the metaverse of some kind to hang out with your character. And then whatever items you're buying are actually maybe also in the metaverse. But I got to check chat real quick. But I don't know what you guys think about that. Official earnings, trading view said March 23rd. B-More, thank you for being here, first of all. I think that's just an estimate right now until there's like an official date. But it's possible. I mean, March 23rd seems fairly reasonable considering, let's see, they actually reported the results. See, they announced the date last time for Q2. Oh, sorry, Q3, they announced 28th, report on the 7th. Q2 announced 25th, report on the 7th. So you would have to think maybe the announcement's about to come officially soon, but maybe they'll report earnings sooner because it seems like whenever they announce earnings, they tend to report them shortly after, just again, so there can't be like manipulation of like, I guess in their eyes of like hype and stuff like that, like going into earnings, things of that nature. But something that did just make me think of is anytime GameStop's launched anything major, there's always been a giant FUD campaign in the media. So the day they launched the wallet as an app, there was some whole negative press about GameStop, this or that. Not even a single story about how they launched a wallet on iOS, which was like a huge deal. And when they launched the marketplace, there was like no word of it either. And there was some other FUD campaign that Monday because they launched on a Sunday. So, and again, that's just my opinion. You're more than welcome to disagree in terms of what you think a FUD campaign is. But it seems like everything they do is for a reason. And I'm just really excited to see what Gmerica could be. And if anybody has any ideas on this, let me know. But like, it's like I scribble these works like notes at work, right? Like you see this right here, and like obviously this is like chicken scratch, but like I think it'd be kind of cool if there's a way I could like scan everything I do. One, so I could organize it better for myself, and two, just make it so like it's open source, like anybody can view it, or I guess open source in the sense like anybody could just. I guess I could just even do it on Google Drive and share it for view only, where anybody, but I would have to be a scan, so I don't know. But tell me what you guys think. So anybody could just kind of go on and read through my notes or just like what I brainstormed throughout the day. Like obviously some of it would be like not necessarily things like that pertain to you, but things just like of my overall thought process. And you can kind of see like when I'm at work and like I have a down moment or like GameStop just hops on my mind, right? I'm like, oh yeah, like how could they be profitable? Oh yeah, like I really think they could drive growth now with Web3, and then I kind of just build off that idea, or like what I did today specifically, and what I want to talk about right now, and like also kind of want to make a video on this too. So I'm kind of brainstorming it all as I go, but I want to focus on GameStop's profitability, growth, and delivering long-term shareholder value. I feel like all those things are going to come hand in hand, and I kind of laid out all the reasons, and laying out all the reasons, I'm like, yeah, my original thesis is correct in my personal opinion, but I'm going to kind of go through that now. Let's see. Everything's bigger in Texas. That's right, XBit. Whoop. Why would people bet against it after seeing the fundamentals? Betting against e-commerce Web3 company out to be unwise. It's true, Bahari. I agree with you absolutely. I think one, people, part of it is egos too. When you just feel a certain way, or you just, even the people that have just been hating on GameStop since like for a while now, they would rather than actually like open up the company's financials and look at what's going on or like take any effort to. I feel like they would just rather be like, nah, it's gonna go bankrupt. They'd just rather like their ego, just think like, oh, I said that, I gotta stick with that. I can't admit I was wrong. And there's a lot of people, in the gaming industry. This is definitely something I've heard from talking to individuals that game. That in the gaming industry, a lot of people don't like the idea of NFTs. Like someone was telling me recently, like, oh, if GameStop does NFTs, like I don't know if I could like be a supporter as much anymore. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, but why? Like, what do you have against NFTs? Like, it's actually crazy the way like I feel like crowds just generally flow, because there's people that just straight up don't like NFTs, and it's because like, oh, it's just because people grifted off them. I'm like, but that's the people that did it, not like what the underlying thing is, and it's just like a fancy name. Like, I don't really understand all the NFTs. Oh, he does that. Like, it used to be cool to be like into NFTs, and now it's like you're stupid. You're still on that. Like, I'm like, but I'm not. I'm looking at the apes and the pictures. Like, I'm focusing on the utility and what I think it could be, and I just think that fog is kind of covering it, and I feel like Gmerica could really like clear that fog, and people are like, oh, it's still about the game, and it just makes everything more about the individual and takes the power away from the big man, right? Like, in my opinion, that's what GameStop's trying to do with the gaming industry. Power to the players, power to the creators. But ironically enough, people think, oh, well, NFTs, oh, that's bad, I don't want those in games, like I can't support that, and I'm like, but if it meant selling something in one game to maybe buy another game, like wouldn't that be kind of cool? And like also meant whoever created the game got a majority of the money, like things like that happen over time with the blockchain because it's all transparent. I just don't understand the hate, and I just think you're right, like I don't understand it, you don't understand it, but I think it's a result of just lack of knowledge or lack of wanting to know things more so. But crazy. About 2 weeks till GameStop earnings, I think. Can't wait. Yes, sir, Danzo. It's coming soon. No way. Tetron bears would never. That's true, Xbot. Xbit. I know these bears. It's not about NFTs. It goes deeper. I think you're right, Xbit. I absolutely do. I'm saying it from the sense of individuals in the gaming industry that I've talked to and just like kind of what they think. But I feel like those people too are just, focused on the games. And if it comes just about the game, then they're not going to care about the NFT. They'll do whatever it is because they care about the game. And to me, that's really what it boils down to. And that's true. Yeah, it's true, XBit, in the sense also that the NFTs, it goes deeper than just what it's called. It's what the underlying thing is. And beyond that, see Camelot 331 still working overtime, trashing it, spreading lies, and his former workplace. I think I know who you're talking about. I'm gonna pull him up, Dan. So I feel like I saw this guy, and he's like, yeah, I used to work there. They were so bad to me. Like, and he just like moans on YouTube. And I'm pretty sure his top video, like, I kind of feel bad, and like, I don't like to knock people for this, but like, his top video is like what it's like to be lonely at 30 years old or something. It's like, I don't know, that's the video he used to blow up. But at the same time, I don't want anybody to ever feel bad about themselves or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. Yes. Oh my. Yeah. Yeah. This guy. This guy. Yeah. Yeah. This is him. This is exactly it. But yeah, you're right. He literally. You can tell. You're right, Danzo. That he just hate. He's just upset from his time at GameStop, and like he just he loves just try. Like I don't know. He clearly is making money from this. Like he's monetized, and it's like walk out cozy stores. It's something worse. The final days. But like if you just open up their balance sheet, like it's simply not true. Like it's just hilarious because you have to wonder how a channel like this blew up, and like you're right, I feel like in a sense it's the Matrix. It really is the Matrix. People just like follow the flow. Have you gone down the protocol Gemini rabbit hole? I don't think so, Itchy. Send me some information. Definitely like DM me some stuff on Twitter. Thing. I'm down to go down the rabbit hole. I've definitely like looked at some overhead stuff, but I haven't been down the rabbit hole. Camelot, PPC lover. What's up, family? Abam, thank you for being here. But yeah, this guy's like, I remember seeing one of his videos on my feed once, and I thought, what the heck? And I looked on his channel, and I realized like he always trashes GameStop, a lot of retailers, and like I don't know, just like stupid stuff. Like I'm heartbroken. Fed confessed to kidnapping. Jesus, like what the heck? Ape Axe just came down to GameStop, and it's bad. Yeah, see, I did watch this one. Yeah, this is the one I saw, and I remember thinking, what a bozo, because he was talking about in there. They did this they tried to launch this NFT marketplace, and it like failed. I'm like, bro, it's not even getting going yet. Like, you didn't even like it's. I don't know. It's at the point too. Like, I am so like confident in how I feel about GameStop that when people tell me like it's going bankrupt, I just smile and I just say, just wait. Or I usually just show them like my most recent buy order too. I'm like, well, I absolutely still believe in it. Let me show you. And they just get, why? I'm like, I just like the stock, and it drives them crazy. And like, I've just gotten so much joy about that over time. I don't know if it's just me, but and it's also like, because I don't need to explain to anybody. You know what I mean? Nobody has to believe me. That's literally fine. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have video record of how I felt and consistently talked about, and we can see what the future brings, and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? That's why I think it's hilarious when people are like trying to. I don't want to even argue with them. I'm like, what is the point of me arguing with you? You already know how you feel. I'm not gonna waste my time. And I've been starting to feel like that a lot about politics lately because I'm like, everyone, I think leans one way or another, and you can take your guesses of where I lean. But what I hate more than anything is division and people like to hate someone because they feel differently than you, or just you can't even talk to them because they have a different opinion or they voted for somebody else. That's just nuts. And to me, that's a lot of problems right now that we're seeing as a result of that mentality. So while I may feel strongly a certain way, I'm never going to say to somebody that says, people told me like, you're literally going to lose all your money in GameStop. I'm not, I'll say, okay. I mean, if they consistently say that to the point, like they want to just annoy the shit out of me, and like, they're just not even like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can tell when somebody's just saying it out of ignorance or to just be a pest, and it's like they've said ignorance. I'm not gonna like dismiss the person and never talk to them again if that makes sense. So I don't mean to like say anybody I talk to doesn't believe in GameStop is ignorant. I just mean maybe they're not informed, and I don't feel like I have to convince them because I'm like, okay, I'm trying to tell you something I believe in. If you think it's stupid, okay, that's fine. You're gonna miss out. I'm sorry. I tried to inform you or send you down the path, but that's just how I feel about it. Check chat. We're at the ground floor. I think you're absolutely right, Suit. That's right. Camelot BPC lover. Um, let's get the party started. That's right, APM. You know the vibes. Camelot trashes Best Buy and Guitar Center, but they aren't going bankrupt. That's a good point. Chad Clifford, hey Tetron, I like stock too. You're not wrong. Thanks for being here, Chad. I think I'm right too. But hey, time will tell how I feel, or what I say, what comes to be true and not. Yo, are you the Cobra Kid? The Cobra Kid? I don't know, like from what's that show? Cobra Kai? Yeah, I got some funny things you guys say I look like. I don't know. Sometimes I look at these people. Like Cobra Kai kid. Is that him? The little kid in Cobra Kai. I don't know. I don't know if that's what you mean, but I'll take it as a compliment. People lose money today, might as well go to the future. It's true, Monster Buddy. And thank you for being here. Camelot trashes every retail store except AMC. Tells you what you need to know. It's a fact, Danzo. Isn't it funny too? AMC up like 17% today on the fact like they're basically just delaying the inevitable, which is dilution or like the reverse split or whatever. Like it's just pretty interesting. The money I put into GME, I can afford to lose, but I won't. I feel exactly the same, Chad. It's really as simple as that. All the cool people are here. That's right, XFit. You know the vibes. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like this is also an important message. You know, there used to be a guy. I should try and find it. YouTube Studio. Oh, wait, it was right there. But there's a guy. I don't know if you guys remember. Let me know in the comments right now in the chat if you've seen this guy. That's how I know you're on my videos, and I respect that. Thank you. Either way, if you've seen him, let me know. But the guy that used to always comment, and he would be like, invest all your money in GameStop. Tell your friends, family, everybody you know, invest everything they have in DRS it or something stupid. And I always put it in every video, and I just thought like, I was kind of leaving it there, like, okay, like it's kind of funny, like, okay. And then after I realized, I'm like, this guy is like trolling, and like anybody that's actually interested in seeing what's going on, then they're gonna like look on here and see like, no, like it's just idiots that invest in the stock because they're gonna see that and then associate that with everybody else. Um, but when did I block him? I don't know. Just go to random. Very random. He was on like everyone for a while. He's probably here. Okay, mute, pause. Oh my god, the facial hair, guys. It's crazy. My hair, you guys will see. I don't know if you guys have noticed since like watching the channel. My style is I always cut my hair like mad short, like kind of how it is now, but a little bit shorter, or how it was like a month ago or so. And I do the clean shave, and then I just kind of let everything come back until the point I have like so much going on I can't take it. I just clean up again. But I mean, obviously like shave and do shit in between, but that's kind of my vibe. Um, Come on, load. I want to find him. Someone prove that AMC and Gmerica are real, and when is the MOAS? I need to know when moon. See, like these funny guys. I see. I want to check these accounts too. I'm curious. Yeah, this guy, Nicholas Holden. We need to recruit more people to make the MOAS happen. Advice: your friends and family to take out loans to buy GME. Tell them it's 100% safe. This is not financial advice. Like terrible grammar. Yeah, nah, you'll have your whole family hate you for life. Which I'm sure this guy's saying it like he doesn't believe in GameStop, but this is an important message that at the end of the day, you know, you don't want to invest more than you can afford to lose. And like, let me be very clear, and as you all know, I absolutely believe in GameStop more than anything. But there's no way I'm gonna put every penny of my entire life and not even keep cash in my bank or have nothing at all besides GameStop, right? And just every dollar I ever get, I'm gonna put in GameStop. Like, obviously, like I want to live my life a little bit, and you know, you have to manage yourself. And like, if all of your money's in GameStop and then a real world life expense comes up, how are you going to pay for it if everything's at GameStop? So, what I'm trying to say here is you have to know thyself and invest more, no more than you can afford to lose, because then you can endlessly just invest if it's what you can afford to lose. Because if somehow, some way, right, it doesn't work out, you don't even lose sleep at night. Or then when you start going through scenarios in your head of what could happen, this could happen, could the stock go up here, could the stock go up there, whatever else, any negative thought, you go, well, I don't care because I've invested as much as I believe I feel is the right amount to invest. So any negative thought you can, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't look at a negative aspect of something and then dismiss it through facts and logic. But what I'm saying is like any just negative, like general pessimistic thoughts or just, oh, I don't know, like I've been holding this so long or this or that or whatever. If you have more than you can afford to invest, then obviously you have those thoughts. But if you don't, then you're like, all right, well, feels like it's been a while, but I didn't wait all this time to just leave now, right? So that's just kind of how I feel about that. And that's why I honestly, I think I blocked him from the channel or he stopped commenting because this dude, like, let's see his channel too. There's nothing, but he would always just comment on mine and like, he just joined in April 2022. Like, I don't know. It's just sus, you know what I mean? And then this account, just some random shorts and records. I don't know. Interesting. It's always funny when you find YouTube like this. I'm like, what is this? Literally blank screens from 5 years ago on an iPhone. Oh, mad funny. But how do we even get on this? Yeah, I was talking about that guy. Camelot Clown. How does he have a check mark? That's so weird. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Chat's popping. The tortoise. They are slow sometimes, Xbit. People lose money every day, might as well the future. Cobra Kai. Honda. The money I've put in the GM I can afford to lose but won't. Let's see. He's the low cal of stock of is worse YouTube. Cobra seeing it's a Toyota. Oh. You think society will collapse when GME rockets? 420 Bonk Smoke? That's a great question and nice name. But honestly, I almost think sometimes I don't ever want there to be a big dramatic price increase of GameStop because just the possibility that it's like the whole financial system's riding on this is just mind-boggling to me. And I don't want society to be ruined. I don't want some big great reset. I don't know what the fuck that looks like, you know what I mean? So I think no. I think, you know, the money printer will be fired up or whatever it is, but at the end of the day, I don't also want to live in a world that's just crumbled because of GameStop. And it's, you know, not that it would be my fault, and of course I'm sure the media would pin it that way or whatever, or individuals invest in GameStop. But my point is like I want something there for after the price appreciates greatly. You know what I'm saying? So I really hope not, but we'll see. I'm gonna say Cobra Kai Kid. Oh, I gotta get caught up. Damn. I don't know. I haven't watched Cobra Kai. Is it good? Should I watch it? I feel like I heard it was pretty good. I'll do my retention of RC11 Coke. Consent. He's the local of YouTube stock peddlers. Facts. He's soft. That guy. I know you're talking about Camelot. Oh, Lightning, we're copying you, Tetron. Now he's streaming during your times to the weekends again. Haha. I don't know about that, Danzo. He's been at it longer than me, but that's funny. I got 2 years to listen to both streaming. It's funny. That's good. But yeah, no, Lightning's a pretty chill dude. Never collabed or anything like that. Maybe one day we'll get in touch or something. But it's talent, Danzo. It's true. I could put in way more than afford to lose, and I'll do it again. 5 times my salary and still going strong. All right, suit. Hey, that's what it's all about. It's about comfort and knowing where you're at. Me too. We are Sparta. Expect, I think, understand. CSP. President sell. Oh, yeah, cash secure puts when G meets the bottom. It's lose. If it goes up, great. Neutral loss. You buy the dip. Yeah. So Danzo, essentially, I could kind of generally explain like cash secured puts. Like I'm definitely no genius on it. I could pull up Professor too. I know he's a controversial account, but I've kind of said this multiple times where like I don't always agree with everything the guy says, but I think he's absolutely a great follow and like at least worth hearing what he has to say. And I don't always have to agree. You don't want to kill zombies? I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fire up like Black Ops 2 Town again and practice on there. Why was the hedge funds falls for a second time when it's not gonna pump? Uh, I don't know, Justin. I mean, well, it was said why was the hedge funds falls for a second time? It's not gonna pump. I think this time it's more of a controlled burn, in my opinion, a burn up just over an elongated period of time. Because if the company is free cash flow positive again over the next several quarters, they show profitability. I mean, there's literally no argument that the company's going bankrupt because, let me see, right? It's the part of the wheel. Start to understand. Don't skip to the leaps video. Yeah, the wheel. I've been looking into that and I do understand it now. And like, it is really interesting because to do the math, like cash secured put example, and if you're going to mess with options, like definitely be familiar with them. Please do your research. Um, Damn it. I want to do it where you can like punch in numbers. Calculator. Ah, okay. I knew there was a website somewhere. Let's see. So, let's see. GME. It's the current price. If you were to write, let's say you sell a $17 put, right? One of them. Right now, let's say they trade at like $1 premium for like a month out, right? You think GameStop will be higher. That means you're betting essentially that GameStop will be higher then 1750 if that's the strike you're using. This isn't the best example, but if the strike was our best like format, I don't know. Again, I'm not familiar with this website. I only know limited about options. But yeah, oh, here we go. Can literally pick one. Fantastic. So let's say you're doing March 17th because earnings are being anticipated, so option premiums are generally a little bit higher right now. But if you're doing puts, right? Because calls, why is this? Oh yeah, calls, puts. So let's say 1750. The higher you go, the closer you go, the more premium you get. So let's say you do like 1850. You sell for 115. So what that essentially means is you're locking up $1,850 of cash in your brokerage. If the stock price of GameStop is above $18.15 or higher on the expiration, you keep this on March 17th, you keep the $115 in your pocket. If GameStop goes down to $17.50, you buy 100 shares. Your $1,850 of cash is taken away, and you're given 100 shares of GameStop, and the current price would just be $17.50. But as soon as the price goes up again, you still have those 100 shares. So essentially, what the cash security is to buy the shares if the option closes in the money. So if the put is in the money, the person who bought the put made the money, so they would exercise, or they would have, like, when you're buying a put, hedging against your position. This is getting to a whole nother topic. Like a big trader, or the theoretical purpose of puts is you buy puts to hedge when you have like a massive share position. Of course, I don't think any individuals at GameStop are really doing that. I think they're more so selling them, like this first example here. But essentially, you keep the premium just the same way you buy an option and you spend the premium and it decays over time because of time decay or the price moving sideways, whatever. Selling the option allows that. But then let's say you get exercise, you have the 100 shares, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't really want these 100 shares, or I want to keep using it to make money. Okay, now you just turn around and then you write a call, and then you keep the premium from that call option. If the call option goes in the money, then now that the call option's in the money, your shares are sold at whatever strike it is. So if you sell a $20 call for $100, you keep the $100 premium, and now you sold your shares for $20 when you had been exercised to buy them at $8.15. So that's the wheel right there in a quick nutshell. I don't know if I kind of lost you guys on that, but glad to see the progress. Keep it up. Seems CSP is the key if you like the stock. Could be, Danzo. If you understand it, I think it's absolutely a viable strategy, but you got to understand it. Am I on Truth Social? I'm not. I signed up for an account a while back, but I don't think I signed up for one for Tetron, but maybe I should. I don't know. It doesn't seem like exactly my kind of platform. I mean, it is like just another variation of Twitter, but now that, well, I don't know. I guess I have to look at it. I don't know too much about it. But now all these other like new like anti-censorship platforms are coming out, and I'm kind of waiting to see like what becomes the biggest. Like, I know Rumble is out there, and I've definitely like thought about that, but I don't know. I just got to kind of see. But I'll definitely look into Truth again. I kind of forgot about it, honestly. March 17th, it's way too soon. You need to go 90s out, bro. Agree, I do understand then. Yes, and Professor selling options the best risk reward ratio for him. Theta gang. Yes, so yeah, selling options is Theta gang. And yeah, I expect you could be right. I don't know that much, but yeah, going farther out does make sense because, the farther out you go, the fatter the premium. And then you start to think like, who would write an option for, like, for example, right? For like September 15th this year, a put is 295. That means if you're buying that put, you're betting GameStop will be below $12 by that date. Like, that's insane. And you're risking $300 betting it will be lower. And at most you would quadruple your money if the price went to 0. If the price went to 9, you would double your money. So that's not even worth the risk to reward. And that's just like a massive cash secured put. Damn. I expect you got my attention, because now that I'm saying that out loud, that's pretty crazy. Locking up $1,500 to collect 300. And also, from what I understand, if you're locking up cash to be secured in a brokerage, you're earning the underlying money market amount. So like when you hold cash in Fidelity right now, I don't know if you know this, but you actually get, like, for this is just Fidelity's example, but you get about like 4%. Or if you guys have like an online savings account like Ally, I definitely recommend opening one of these. Well, I don't recommend anything because I'm not a financial advisor. I recommend you look into what Ally is and what online savings accounts are, because they help you accumulate your wealth. essentially it's like a money market fund where Ally is taking your money and your deposits. They don't have any physical locations. There's also a Discover Online Bank. There's one called Marcus. It's an entity of Goldman Sachs, and basically they're online banks. There's no, in-person like branches, so it's just 24/7 customer service on the phone type of deal. And I've never had a problem with them, so it's been good for me. But basically, you earn right now because interest rates have gone up 3.5% yearly, and of course that will fluctuate as interest rates change. And it doesn't keep up with inflation, so you're still losing money in terms of real economics, not nominal economics. But what I'm saying here is at least you're getting something, right? At least you're getting something for your money sitting doing nothing. And I look at it as like I'm putting money in a savings. Like part of my paycheck goes into a savings and I let it build over time. And then I take a chunk and I put it towards a student loan I have, right? That I'm taking care of right now. And it's on its way out. I'm grinding on that. But in between, it's earning a little bit of interest. Or I'll obviously have a little bit of an emergency fund too and just cash, God forbid, whatever happens, right? Um, so you need to like if you're gonna have that emergency fund anyway, for example, why not just earn like 3.5%? And you might think, oh well, how is Ally doing that? Is it a scam? This that? Well, no. One, it's FDIC insured, so it's an official bank like registered with the U.S. And two, uh, government securities right now, you can like get like almost up to 5%, like with CDs, like certificate deposits and stuff like that. So I guess what I'm going to a new topic here is banks all loan each other money. And what's crazy is something I discovered the other day. The reserve requirements right now. I don't know if anybody knows this, what the reserve ratio is for banking and finance. The reserve ratio is the percentage of money you're supposed to have. Like if you're a bank, right? If I'm Tetron Bank and I have like because banks are constantly loaning money back and forth. Let's say I'm loaning money with at Danzo, and then Danzo loans me money, and then I loan money to Xbit, right? And then Xbit loans it to Freshmaker, who loans it to him, to her, to Wendy, to this person, to that person, right? Whoever's in the chat here, they all like loan the money back and forth. Like it's over time. That's what banks do. They just keep loaning it. But what keeps it aground, or in my opinion at least, or how I see it, is something called the reserve ratio, which means if I'm Tetron Bank and I'm loaning money and I'm taking loans, swapping all in out, I have to actually have some cash for any given moment, right? When something goes belly up or someone actually needs to withdraw funds, etc. So I have to actually have some cash, right? So that's your reserve ratio. If I have, as Tetron Bank, $100 million of money loaned out, I'm supposed to have 1 million in cash in my actual bank if the reserve ratio is 1%. And historically, let's see what it's been historically. It's been as high as like I think 10%, or I don't know, it fluctuates. We're going to look at that next. But what I'm getting at here is effective March 15, 2020, as a result of the pandemic and just everyone taking dramatic actions, they made the reserve ratio 0. 0%. That means you don't actually have to have any cash for any money loaned out. And it's like, look at the reserve. Oh yeah, here we go. Perfect. Exemption amounts. Oh, okay. So this is actual dollar amounts, but the ratio, right? See, effective for the reserve maintenance period beginning March 26, 2020, the 10% required reserve ratio against net transaction deposits above the low reserve trench level was reduced to 0%. The 3% required reserve ratio against net transaction deposits is in the low reserve trench was reduced to 0%. The actual reduced required reserves by an estimated 200 billion. Hello? 3 years later, almost 3 years later, March 2023. And we're not going to bring that back? And to me, that's extremely alarming. And that feeds into the thesis that all the banks are broke because they don't actually have the cash. They're not even required to hold cash. If you can loan out every penny you have to make the maximum amount of money and nothing's stopping you essentially, and if you do break the law, as we've seen, like TD Ameritrade, what? They just paid like a $1 billion fine or something nuts for like practices. Nobody gets in trouble. No individual. You don't. There was no individuals that got in trouble. You're gonna tell me there was no individuals that had to do with $1.2 billion being lost? Like, come on. And it just shows me that if you're running a bank, you're like, well, if anything, the bank would get in trouble, not me, right? And my goal is to make the bank as much money as I can, right? And they're saying technically I can loan out all my money, and every other bank is doing that, right? And all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, this is literally 2008 again. And I don't know if you guys knew that about the reserve ratio, or someone correct me if I'm wrong on this in any way, but like it's crazy what's going on, like, and it's crazy to think that. It seems like all the alternative platforms are only for political stuff, not entertainment. That's a good point, Danzo. I kind of feared that. I hope not. We go back. Data gang. Yeah, the farther out you go, the less you pay in data. Makes sense, XBit. So when Moon, Sean Annan, thank you for being here. Soon enough, I guess you'll just have to see. As soon as you get out of bed. Thinkorswim for paper trading is so hard for me to understand. There's too many options and hard to navigate everything. Don't get it. Versus Webull so easy, but no paper trading. No moon till morning. Got it. That's a meet in Discord. Because the banks all wear tiny hats. Tiny hat gang. The tiny hat gang. After the stream, I got you. Yo, yo, yo. Ted Nextbit. John Jar Binks, thank you for being here. But yeah, that's pretty funny. Tiny hat gang. I think it's tiny reserve gang, honestly. But the fact that banks are allowed to have that right now is just crazy. You have to wonder. It's like, how could good practices be done when the reserve ratio is 0? But damn, I really wish I'd scanned this for you guys prior to, so I could pull it up on the screen, so I could at least. I'm gonna do that next time because I do have a printer. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna write that down. Start scanning. Put scan. Or I can even scan it at work. I have a scanner there. At the end of the day, I can just scan my notes, email it to myself, something like that. Or I don't know. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to. Obviously, like I care about my jobs. Like I don't. Everybody knows like I love GameStop. Like not that many people know I have a YouTube though. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I've kind of told like a handful of people, but who they tell, that's their choice. Whatever. I don't care. They can come see. But everyone doesn't really quite understand why I'm investing in GameStop. But it's one of those things. Like one day, I had this crazy idea that like if it does go up a lot, like the whole office is gonna know and be like, "Holy shit, this guy was right," and like all of a sudden I have a lot of credibility. Then all of a sudden maybe to talk to the office, and then all of a sudden maybe it's like, "Oh, let's get you a nice position here." You know, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, like I I don't know what the future holds for me. Like full disclosure, guys, I'm literally only 22. Like I still have so much shit to figure out. So at the end of the day, I just focus on GameStop right now and doing this on the side and just do my job. But let's get back to GameStop, because there was like a few different things. I guess we could do the spreadsheet. Still working on this over time, but well, I guess this one's we'll have both open because why not? Oh, this is actually it's another little project I'm working on. I don't know if you guys remember Nathan from Florida. We're looking to collab again soon in the future. He's a pretty chill dude. We've been chatting here and there. Definitely check him out if you guys haven't. I'm gonna just pull up his Twitch real quick. He just does gaming right now, but hey, drop him a follow. He's a pretty cool dude. I think he deserves it. Isolation streams. Maybe one day I might have to hop on there and play some games with him once I get my PC. But give him the quick shout here real quick. No copyrights. But yeah, isolation streams. You guys should drop him a follow. But he's the Nathan from Florida. See, Nathan from Florida. Anyway, back to GameStop. But that was GameStop in a sense. Okay, so 3 main things. Whoa, why does it take me there? And again, I mean, I have a whole sheet here, and I'm just don't want to like type this all out, but I want to kind of like show you guys something as I go. Profitability, growth, and long-term shareholder value. So I think all these 3 things kind of go hand in hand, and I'll like first kind of explain it, and then we'll go from there. So profitability. These are like the highlights. And again, this is just as I'm going through work, I just write down like what's coming to my mind and this and that. So here's like the first thing, profitability. They closed any unprofitable stores. It's like one of the first things they done. And honestly, a second note I wrote beyond that is I expect the company to close any future unprofitable stores. If we head into economic downturn and just in general spending isn't there, and there's 2 GameStop close locations in close proximity to each other, one's in a mall, one's not. I think the one that's not has got to go, for example, right? So it's really about closing the unprofitable stores and having that retail technology to see what exactly is selling where and to make those educated business decisions. And I think that's what Ryan Cohen and other executives have done, right? They've come in and they've put in retail technology. Like I remember a long time back, I made a video talking about SAP, the retail technology. If you guys want to check it out, I'll put it here: SAP retail technology. That's what they implemented. That's the software as a service, basically kind of just giving them more information about their products, what's selling where, etc. And somebody I know who's been like, there's somebody I know from high school. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the channel, and I'm not gonna go like exposing anybody or anything, but he's consistently like hated on GameStop since I've started talking about it, and I think he honestly thinks I'm a grifter for attention. Like, and I think he's just jealous though, maybe, just my opinion, that maybe his channel isn't working out in some way or whatever. I don't know what it is, but he was trying to say to me once too, like, because he basically said like, oh, SAP, all these other companies have had it and this and that for a long time. I'm like, yes, I understand that, but GameStop has been purposely underdeveloped in my opinion because of old executives not wanting to adapt and improve over time. And because that never happened, they didn't do the simple things like implement SAP technology. And even though it's simple, it gives them the knowledge they need to make better, adequate retail logical decisions, right? So like retail based, like logic based decisions. So that over time coming in, and it's one of those things, the technology gets smarter as more data is entered into it. So as more customers are shopping GameStop over time, like the geographics get better, the items that sell where, that here or there, gets better. So all that stuff starts to make sense, and they can continue to make those smart decisions like closing any unprofitable stores. And I'm not encouraging them to close like stores just for nothing. I'm just saying, hey, if this store is not profitable consistently and there's no sign it's going to come back, it's got to go. It's just logic. And I think Ryan Cohen and these other guys are like, see that Matt Furlong, like, it's simply operating to efficiency and profitability. If your company doesn't make profits in the long run, it's simply not going to, like, profits and cash flow are the life of your business, right? It's like how you need, your blood has to be flowing, right? To be living. So your cash flow has to be there to be living. And then you could say profitability is breathing. You got to be, well, yeah, I guess profitability is breathing in the sense you can hold your breath for a while and make some changes in that, but you can't hold it forever, right? So you need cash flow. You need the lifeblood. But beyond that, let me check chat real quick. Actually, it's popping out here. Ted, John Jar, Nathan the homie, JPP. Thank you for being here. JPP is actually going to be a special guest star in an upcoming video. I did Hot Ones over the weekend. I made it through all 10. Well, spoiler alert. But no milk. That's right. And I built a strong mindset. It was crazy. Like, I really feel like I'm never gonna be scared of like spicy food again after that. But hello, Mr. Douchmark. Thank you for being here. Tetron with all friends like that. It's true, Xbit. It's true. But yeah, it's it's just funny too. How much I have people who care so much that I'm like, why do you care? Like, I'm just invested just my money. Like, why do you care so much? Like, and that's, which makes me love it even more. I don't know. But getting back to it, ultimately, like how I'm kind of getting at, all these things come together. Profitability, I guess I put it, if I'm going to put these things under categories, I guess I'll just put random pieces of information, bold them, use Times New Roman, because that's nice. A little bigger, a little formatting. Whoa, not 12. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? Okay, so focus on profitability. But I guess what I'm saying here is the company's now, in my eyes, focus on profitability and free cash flow, and you absolutely need those things. And inevitably, if you have good people running the company, it all comes together. Like, to put it in a nutshell here, I see the company as using their profits to deliver long-term shareholder value, and they'll do that through things such as dividends, which could be in the form of cash or NFTs, I would say, in the future. And then there's share buybacks, and I guess partnerships. It's a general aspect of it. Let's say tech presence. I mean, these are all kind of general things. And again, I'm just trying to kind of copy everything down I got here. Um, I guess this should be more customer value, but something I really want them to focus on is what if they could get down same day shipping or the next day shipping as they continue to expand their e-commerce footprint and just have general better logistics, things like that. If that's something they move towards, it's very exciting. Very exciting. But um, what I'm trying to say here is if they start to do these things with their profits, right? Or they can use their profits then to use growth in like Gmerica, um, just e-commerce, more so specifically internationally, better logistics, like all these different things they can use their, as long as they're focused on closing unprofitable stores, right? Close unprofitable stores. They use their profits to then drive growth in, Web3, Gmerica, e-commerce, etc. And then also they use the money to provide value to shareholders, whether it's through dividend, buying back shares. Because if you issue um, dividends, naturally those individuals holding stock will likely continue to hold it. And when you have chairman of the board owning 11% of the company himself, he himself will get those dividends and other individuals being compensated in shares. You have to think dividends are at least a potential on the horizon, but fine. Okay. You think, well, GameStop should reinvest in these things. They're growing right now. I think you're absolutely right. And I think dividends are more so down the line. And I see a comment actually right there. How do you envision GameStop 5 years from now? I actually envision dividends and share buybacks and the company thriving in Web3 and expanding. And I feel like they'll have that down and it'll be a lot more focused on shareholder value. Because when you have a lot of excess cash flow and you're making a strong net profit, then what do you have? You have taxes. So you could reduce the company's taxes by then paying dividends to shareholders because then there's less net income, right? But think, oh well, there's no taxes at all. Okay, but then the individual's getting, like, if I'm an individual holding stock, I get the dividend. Yes, I have to pay a tax on it, but at least I got some of the reward, right? Rather than the company just paying taxes and then just leaving the cash on their balance sheet. But what I'm saying here is these things all go together because if the company drives growth, and okay, let's say they keep individuals betting against the stock or firms keep betting against the stock, driving the price down. If they have the cash, they're going to, okay, we're going to buy back stock. What's that naturally going to do if there's a limited amount of shares? It's going to raise the price. And what does that do? Raise the market cap. Inevitably, in my opinion, the market capitalization of the company will rise because then, let's say you buy back shares, the market cap starts to rise. Okay, you continue to grow. And let's say then the shareholder value starts pushing the market cap too far out of the way, then the growth could start to catch up to it. Or, there's something called WACC. I don't know if anybody knows what this is, like WACC, which is, I learned about in school, weighted average cost of capital. I remember I had such a fucking pain in the ass in one of my last classes about this. But basically what it is it's a giant equation and you're calculating, is what you're paying for the price per share worth it relative to the projected growth and dividends? So also like an aspect of it, because it's a very like complex fucking thing or whatever, is does it make company, or like you can run scenarios, and again I'm just all off the dome here, I don't remember exactly, but you can run scenarios where it's like if the company were to take on debt, because now they would be in a favorable place, but whoa, why would GameStop take on debt? If GameStop could take on debt at a 5% rate and they had plenty of cash to cover the debt at any moment in time, all of a sudden you have something called good debt. If that debt is going to provide you grow the business more than the interest it's securing, if the people running the business believe it's worth taking the debt, that's called good debt, where you believe, and I don't think GameStop's there yet, don't get me wrong, but if you believe what you take in debt, let's say you take $100 million in debt and you believe you could pay it off in total after X amount of years, let's say like 5 years, or I don't know, 3 years, you pay that 100 million off at like 120 million, right? And you think, okay, well that cost me 20 million. If GameStop can establish a project that nets them right after whatever 30 million from whatever they use that 100 million to invest in, suddenly that's worth it, right? Because they paid a total interest of 20 million and they paid off their original loan. but then they have a net profit. Obviously, that's like a run, small numbers, like not the greatest example. My point is, then they can like forcing the market cap higher allows them to explore these different things. And when the market cap's higher, then generally the company's valued more, and all these things start to kind of just come together. Because I have a great article. This will make it more sense. Make more sense because I was reading this and I'm like, wow, this sounds exactly what Ryan Cohen and other individuals on GameStop's board and Matt Farlog kind of seem to be driving the company towards. I gotta see if I can find it. GameStop 5 years from now, yeah, like I was kind of saying, profitability, strong Web3 presence, and delivering shareholder value. Because honestly, guys, I don't want to like talk about the squeeze too much because I feel like everybody like that's the whole underlying everything, right? And if it truly is systematic risk, like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to get too down the rabbit hole, and I think everyone is well informed on that. It's for me, I feel like it's better to just talk about like fundamentals and things going on with the company right now. Yes, this is the article here. Computer parts and branding. I saw keyboard gaming, GameStop brand. That's awesome, John Jar. I think that's something they absolutely have to go into because think about it. Tech items like keyboards, things of that nature, higher margin items. That's how the company can continue to drive growth. Let's put that here. Let's say selling higher margin items such as tech items, collectibles. Like if you guys have noticed, if you look at GameStop's revenue, hold on, let's see. GameStop Word document random. Actually, I was trying to get more organized. Let's give it a better title. Shareholder value. Okay, but let's see right here. I want to lean on collectibles and memorabilia. Nostalgia is a crazy thing. Nintendo nostalgia is not a problem. It's perfectly natural. It's facts X fit. And I love, to me, the greatest nostalgia is the Wii and the GameCube because that's what I played growing up. And like I still love playing that with my friends. Like when they come over and we just hang out, like Mario Sluggers, Mario Super Bros, like all these like the sports games on GameCube because they're so crappy that it's like fun. Like it's hilarious. Just like, even the silly stuff like that, Mario Kart, all these different games. And when a business strategy have a core loyal GameStop brand of supporters for life, I was convinced when Right At Places was going on, Gmerica Superstock was very eye-opening. I think you're right, John Jarrett. It's a very good point. Where a lot of people came for a quick buck or, fight back against the system or this or that. Everybody came for their own reasons. And I feel like now everybody is still holding the stock at this point in time generally is here because they believe in the company one way or another. If they didn't believe in the company, I don't think anybody who's stolen the stock would be here at this point. Honestly, that's just my opinion, but that seems to be where it's at. Super Smash Bros. Yes, Super Smash Bros. Is awesome. I should honestly stream that. I do want to stream because I have like a little thing that you could do to like stream Wii games, and actually, me and my brother like have like a side channel. It's mostly his, and like we're still brainstorming. And it's for non like stuff I'm doing here. It's called Tetron Unlimited. I don't know if you guys want to look, but we were posting like a lot of Mario Sluggers on there, and essentially, I don't know, we were just like messing around, and that's just like hanging out playing a game, and like he does all the edits. And shout out to him, he's always great, helping me out with stuff. But yeah, those are the best. Back to GameStop here. Um, I'll get to this in a second. Wealth maximization is kind of the shareholder value, but what I want to show you on GameStop's revenue, and what I think would be really exciting in the future is if we start to see Web3 revenue categorized separately, like in terms of the income statement. Okay, let's see. Sales. Well, obviously it's not going to come up from that, was I thinking? Okay, so this is net sales. Where are we? Where are we? Ah, no. Gosh, cash equivalents. No. Oh, digital assets. Okay, actually, this might be interesting to look back at. I want to read this. Let me write that down. Page 9, the 10Q. Jeez, I'll put that. No, right here. Second, guys, because this is what I do. Like, as I'm like researching GameStop, I try and just write whatever's on my mind, and like, you guys probably see it too. One of the biggest challenges I have is like organizing my thoughts and my ideas, and like that's why I kind of like starting to do the live stream. But like, I feel like that's why I've got away from videos in the sense like I'm always like videos. I do like multiple like recordings and like whatever kind of presents like what I have to say as like what I'm trying to say in the best way. Like it's one I post, but live streaming is just like I keep just going, and a lot of my style is just like all off the dome. But it's so hard to like organize sometimes. So like just like writing this shit down. I'm like, oh, I gotta like follow up on this, and then like put it in the right place. And so yeah, I'm really trying to work on organization. But yeah, I want to make sure I look back at this where it says digital assets because that's always exciting. I don't know if you guys are reading it right now as it's on the screen. Anything interesting there? You can let me know. But what I want to show you is yeah, the breakdown. So these are the most recent 9 months. We'll get the full year report coming up, which is gonna be pretty exciting because we'll see 2023 over, or sorry, 2022 over 2021. Should be interesting. If they could show growth there, I think that's really exciting because I feel like spending is down year over year slightly. But I'm looking for them to even try and just generally stay in line. But mostly I'm looking for free cash flow positive and just ultimately profitability. But if you look here, see software sales are going down, hardwares and accessories is going down. And it's just, but look at collectibles going up, going up. This is for a 9 month period. This is for a 3 month period. But these are higher margin items. And if they're selling more tech-based items, such as like PC parts, iPhones, or not iPhones is a bad example, but like things like that, like tech-based items, those are higher margin items. And obviously Web3 items are higher margin. So seeing Web3 on here in some way would be very exciting to see how it grows and how it gets added in to this revenue mix. Let's see. Pam, collectibles. Pam, thank you for being here. And it's facts. Yeah, I think collectibles are an exciting thing. And, you know, when like a lot of what I've got, I mean, I guess what a collectible would technically be, right? Like I got this Millennium Falcon, like phone charger on my desk. Like to me, that's kind of a collectible, right? I feel like all the little like knickknacks and fun things you buy from GameStop, like that falls in that collectibles category. So I feel like I'm a collectible shopper, so to speak. But yeah, you could look at exactly. Let's see, new pre-owned hardware, accessories, hardware bundles, which hardware, blah blah blah. Oh, excuse me. The sales of new or pre-game software, digital software. Okay, yeah. No explanation on collectibles though. Interesting. But that's something I see them focusing on, higher margin items. Hold on one sec. That's what's crazy. Our super risk investment of investing with the zero debt, 1 billion cash, 1 billion inventory companies, cash flow of 177 billion, and it's 87 million shares registered, and we're the crazy ones. Hey, John Char, that's just what they say, right? But I know exactly what you mean. Or you step back and you look at all that information right there that you just said, that the company has like no debt, $1 billion in cash, $1 billion worth of inventory, free cash flow now, about to turn profitable, 87 million shares registered, which is, by the way, like if that is actually the number, we're like literally 1/3 of shares outstanding, not even float, 1/3 of shares outstanding registered to individuals' names in the transfer agent. This is just like completely uncharted waters. And like I'm surprised the volume isn't even lower than it has been lately. And like it's been low. So I think it's crazy. 307 million flow company, which trades a mere 2 million shares a day, TikTok. And I heard Mario's not straight, which is super relevant. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I don't know why everything has to be sexualized these days and like everything like that. It's crazy. It's like Mario's just there to like be Mario. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. But getting back to shareholder value, um, these things I was kind of talking about, uh, essentially. Nope, gotta fix this. It's gonna drive me crazy. What is wealth maximization? And you guys tell me what you think in regards to this. Wealth maximization is a chain aiming chain. Okay, I guess it's I don't know what chain, but maximizing shareholder wealth by increasing the share price, which technically increases market capitalization. Less uncertainty is associated with cash flows than profit maximization, and they are more predictable and consistent. So profits are less important than cash flows. Okay, again, this is just what this individual, this Wall Street Mojo thinks, right? I'm just reading it here. To maximize value for, but generally, I think there's some good points to this. That's why I'm going through it. To maximize value for shareholders, a company must first be profitable. Only then can consider increasing shareholder wealth. GameStop's on the horizon of profitability. It is related to cash flows and profits, which are more certain and regular, with the absence of uncertainty associated with profit. However, it's based on perspective and not a descriptive idea. Okay, act as agents. Example, typically, with wealth committees, the case of shareholders that benefit from investing in particular stock over time. Because a company's net worth has grown, this has positively impacted the share values too, and thus increasing shareholders' wealth. A very practical example can be an investment made in 1996 for a US-based company called Havels. As observed, any investor who invested into a tune of $1,500 in the stock in 1996 and retained the stock till now would have seen a massive gain of $4 million. And a great example of this, if you want to look at it, of just compounding over time, part of it would be just GameStop buyback shares, like compounding over time. It would just be compounding the wealth of the company because less and less shares being out there in general, right? So what I'm saying here as a whole is the company delivering value like naturally raises its market cap, and Warren Buffett is like a great example of this. If you look at like a lot of the stocks he's invested, they do the same thing. Like Apple's has so much cash they literally don't even know what to do with it. Like it's crazy. So I think they'll buy back stock like inevitably forever, because like even if Apple falls off a little, like yeah, people like that, but like part of what makes it the conglomerate it is it's just they're just so rich with cash, and like the stock could start tanking and they'll be like, bet we'll just start buying back even more stock. So keep going here. Advantage is more related to cash flows and profits. Okay, so it's kind of repetitive, but I guess like what stood out to me, or like about, it was just like the mantra of it whole, that it's about like the wealth being created through buying back stock and like issuing dividends, and like just the shareholder value creates the wealth of the company. And so long as the company succeeds, returning shareholder value naturally like creates that compound where you see like in this example here. And Warren Buffett again is a great example of this with Berkshire Hathaway and what he's done there and with the different companies he invests in. Like Coca-Cola is a great example. Like if you look at what he spent on Coca-Cola, like and versus what he's earned in dividends over time, it's just nuts. And to just think like maybe one day GameStop, is paying out a $1 per quarter dividend. I don't know what the stock price will be at that point in time, but think about it for yourself. Think about getting $1 per quarter for your GameStop share. Think about how insane that would be. I mean, for me, it'd be quite a lot of money and quite a nice dividend coming in. And again, to be clear, I think the company has to focus on driving growth in these categories I showed here. Whatever Gmerica is, which I'm speculating is a crossover of Web3 and real life. Maybe your avatar. Buy a GameStop shirt. It's also your avatar shirt in Web3 in the metaverse. Gmerica is someplace you can hang out, because there is this tweet here where it said, damn it, pull it up. But better logistics, selling higher margin items, e-commerce, all these things, like they should focus on driving these things so that down the line, inevitably they can squeeze any short sellers or anybody betting against the stock through that shareholder value, because it hurts a lot if you have to pay fat dividends, right? If you're still shorting the stock after all that time, paying all that borrow fee, because once you start paying dividends, anybody who's shorting it is responsible to paying who's long on the other side of the trade. Whoever you're loaning the share from, you would owe, like if you're a short seller, you owe whoever the shares loaned to you from the dividend, because you're borrowing the stock, right? So you would actually have to pay it. So that burns them. And then buying back stock just creates less shares out there. So obviously it's harder to short stock if there's less of them. But Gmerica, Canadian lure of GME, what does Gmerica mean? Our favorite place to game. So what does that mean? I'm so intrigued. I'm so intrigued by this screenshot, or this tweet rather. Our favorite place to game. What does that mean? And I think that means it's the crossover of Web3 and in-person items, and that's why the patent is for various items like sweatshirts, shoes, etc. But it's crazy. We'll see what happens. I think as that develops, and then all of that's in place, like I was kind of saying before, when anyone was here, the GameStop wallet, the GameStop NFT marketplace, it's all underlying, I think, to build something. Like it's all the pieces to the puzzle, and like fixing the e-commerce. I think Gmerica is what really brings it all together, and I'm just excited to see what it is. And I think it's going to be a mix of Web3, real world items, metaverse. Maybe it's its own variation of Steam, but driven by Web3. All those different things all in one in some way, some grand way I can't even imagine potentially. But let's check chat. PC Part Picker, the best PC game builder website. Add GameStop to the list of merchants. Hey, good looks, Mary Jane. I'm gonna check that out. And I actually have to, like I said, I'm sooner than later going to build a PC. And maybe when I move out and have my own place and whatever, and I have a nicer setup, because that's the thing, I'm always kind of on the go. I've kind of been settling in this little corner, but there's like a couch right here and a desk right here, so I don't know how I'd get everything set up, and like the power's not that good down here. So, but I do want to build what's it called? PC soon, and I'm gonna check that out. PC part picker, merchants. Good looks, Mary Jane. That's good info. You know the Talkboy recorder from Home Alone is like 5K now. Collectibles. Damn, it's great to hear. Partnerships. Don't forget this is happening while inflation is hot and the economy is reeling. Very good point, John Jar. Very good point. I don't need an end game. We're in the beginning game. I like that. The beginning game. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up soon, guys. Damn. Ah, okay. Choose your store. Oh, what the heck? It's like oh, I see. It's like there's guides on here. Oh, interesting. Let's see. What was it used? Word of advice: never move out. Buy rental properties. That's a good point, Abe. I did like, or buy what we said, never move out, buy rental properties. Oh, I see what you're saying, just for like income. But what I was thinking more so, because eventually I got to move out, right? But maybe like something like a house hack. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that, where it's like essentially you buy a property, you become the owner and like you live there, but then you're also renting out the other parts of it or whatever. And essentially you're the landlord, and it's also, you're making income on it. Excuse me. And then inevitably, you move out and then rent out that final space you were at. But yeah, definitely not trying to rush it too much, trying to just accumulate. And, part of the reason I've been able to invest so much in GameStop and become so knowledgeable on it is, because I'm fortunate enough to still live at home and like have a roof over my head and like all the simple things. So, I could focus my energy and just YouTube and whatever else out there. But don't get me wrong, when I move out or take the next chapter of my life, I'm not just gonna like stop YouTube or something like that. But appreciate the general advice. You really get offended over the was it y'all really get offended over bullishness of the stock? LMAO. Not offended, more so just like, I mean, I don't know, if you have a good counter argument, let's hear it. Like I think it's just more so not offended. It's just like, it's more like what you're saying is like, like. And yeah, which stock? Yeah, maybe first clarify first, Seymour. It's a bold claim. Um, I think if I move back to my parents and my wife and kids, I'll have so many GME shares saving off the mortgage. It's true, Abe. Hey, I mean, if I just want GameStop to split dividend again over time, I'll take more shares over time. It's like I said, I really think we're going to deliver value. So the more shares, the merrier. But also, yeah, whenever I can buy a couple shares, I buy them because I really do think right now, you know, it's could very likely be some of the final days where the company's like technically not profitable because Q4. I think it's going to be really strong because it's holiday season in general. So to me, 2023 now, this first half of the year is really the test. If they can be profitable in this first half of the year and keep that strong free cash flow and launch Gmerica and do all these different things they want to do, I think, hey, that's very, very encouraging and what I'm looking at right now. It's under builder, then click any category. Oh, good looks. Builder. Oh, damn. I got to use this website. Then click on any category. Oh, I see. Literally, the merchants are on the left. Oh, I see. Let's see. Creative graphics. Uh, see. Damn, it's alright. I'm probably just not finding it because I'm not familiar with this website, but I definitely believe it's here. Damn. Yeah, I gotta. This is actually a website I should use. Thank you for telling me about this stuff. I definitely got to check it out, especially when I build a PC. Let's see. Sold my house which passed away and put it all in GME. Part of Jersey from. I'm in Brooklyn. GameStop stock is everyone talking about. But yeah, no, Jay. I mean, listen. Always, make your own individual decisions and just do your research. And if you have something you believe in, that's the way to go. That's really what it comes down to. As per Heights, there's no counter argument. I agree with everything you're saying. All I said is it would moon, but whatever. Now you're chilling, Seymour. No worries. You're chilling. Of all GameStop shareholders, I'll drink to that. Cheers. Cheers all around. We don't care for the moon. Strong growth over time. We don't trade GME. We invest. I think it's all facts right out here. Nothing but facts in the chat right now. But yeah, I don't want to say exactly where in Jersey I'm at, but I'll say like the northern part. But yeah, I'm a big Devils fan, so I do love going over to Newark. It's a little bit of a ride, but I love going to catch the games. So I don't know if anyone ever goes to those. You can catch me there. But Devils games are mad fun. I love hockey, and the Devils just made a huge trade. I don't know if anyone follows. Like Devils just traded for this guy Timo Meyer. They're like a legit contender now, for the first time in a long time. So it should be pretty exciting. It's Timo time. But yeah. Crazy. And then let's see, I have any other random points today. Oh, from the last earnings, I think I pointed this out last time, but cash securities or marketable. So marketable securities, that's like when the company's putting it into like government T-notes, things like that, like basically government securities. $238 million. So you'd have to think those are probably going to net them about 4%. Let's say estimated with the way interest rates of 238. That's 9.52 million. So the company's probably going to get about $10 million just from having their cash secured if it stays at that same interest rate over a 1-year period, which to me is pretty dope because if you look at what their debt is, yeah, see, their only debt is in relation to the French government's response to the pandemic. And the interest rate of the 3 loans is 0.7, 1%, and yeah, so literally like 1%. Right? Does this not say that here? There was. Yeah, the French term loans. So these loans essentially have interest rates. Why would they even pay them off yet at this moment in time? Like, it's not even the best use of their money when they can literally earn more in the marketable securities right now, which is kind of crazy, where they're earning like 4%. So 238 million of cash in marketable securities, and then you have like 40 million of debt in low interest debt, but the marketable securities literally pay more interest, and that doesn't not to mention all the other cash. And we haven't even talked about in a while, I feel like, the potential of an acquisition. Who's to say GameStop won't make some acquisition out of left field of like a keyboard manufacturer or some kind of PC part manufacturer, something like that? I think we're kind of talking about they can get more into actual like PCs and the different parts, things like that. What if they bought out a small company? Even if it's a small, super tiny thing, maybe it's something that fits the what's it like? I don't know. It fits, right? It fits within their system that would be able to take over that business and just add to cash flows and just add to focusing on deliver shareholder value, all those different things. I think we should put that on here. Acquisitions, because if the company raises their market cap, essentially make an acquisition, it fits in a little bit better over time. Stupidest. You don't want your investment in the moon. It's not that simple. Search and Sussex by Vernon. We don't depend on the squeeze we can't control. We control funds we can't see with our own eyes. I treat GME as my personal savings. I hear you guys. I definitely hear you guys. Treat GME as my actual life. No, XFIT, it's facts. We're all gonna marry GameStop. Literally over my shoulder, I'm dead. Had funny. But yeah, I think I might I'm trying to see if there's any other points here, guys, but I might have to wrap it up. I'm getting pretty tired. Definitely want to come back again on Wednesday. Let's see, yeah, and again, this is all just speculations. At the end of the day, I'm always just here to share what I think. You can disagree. There's always it's always okay to think like part of what he said there like didn't make that much sense, and it's either maybe I'm just not that knowledgeable on it, and there's just more I have to understand, or hey, maybe there's just something I'm not seeing that you do in terms of a perspective. And I think these live research things are good because you're here as individuals just thinking. I'm here just going through things that I would kind of just research here and there on my own, and just when somebody replies something in the chat, I'll be like, okay, well, let me go look at that. Like even if it's like a random thing. Like before, we're looking at cash secured puts, we're talking about the reserve ratio. I like how it just kind of goes all about. But yeah, I think that's going to be all for today. But thank you all so much. I think soon we'll see GameStop's official earnings date come out soon. You'd have to imagine it might be announced honestly this week. I feel like this week or the next it'll be announced. And I'll pull up my calendar here. Although you guys can't see because my webcam's here. But if they announce it this week, maybe they're What were we saying before? The 17th. Excuse me. It doesn't sound unreasonable at all. It probably would come out that week, 13th through the 17th. I'm thinking in terms of earnings. Maybe it gets announced at the end of this week, comes out. This seems like a Tuesday, right? So let's say March 14th. That's going to be my prediction. March 14th is earnings. Um, and it's going to be announced officially this Thursday, March 2nd. That's my theory. But all right. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I really appreciate you all so much. I hope everyone has a great night. Take care. Okay, crucified. Hey, everyone can make their own individual decisions, right? And Freshmaker, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. For those of you that don't know, last thing I'll say, Freshmaker was the reason my audio works. I was literally about to return this headset, and Freshmaker was like, "No, go get your headset and make sure your mic is plugged all the way in. It's probably not that one ear muff is broken. It's probably that it's not plugged in all the way because the same thing happened to Freshmaker when he got his headset. So, yeah, but audio works. Here we are. We had a lot of problems in the beginning, but thank you all so much for being here. Xbit, Abe, Freshmaker, Seymour, everyone, take care. Have a good night.